The Benesi Pocket Challenge, possibly the least entertaining device in my collection. It looks fun, right? Looks like a game console, comes in bright colours. Surely some of these games are going to be interesting, right? Let's get some translation, see what we've got. High school entrance exam, middle school geography and history pack, junior high school civics. Yeah, this is not a fun game system. From talking to my friend Terry, who grew up in Japan, he and many other students were made to use these things during private after-school tuition courses. It didn't sound like he had very fond memories of it, and as far as I can tell, there's nothing resembling a video game on here at all. But bear with me, because this does lead to gaming. The controls on the front, while not labelled for gaming, do look a lot like a game controller. The long narrow screen is probably the biggest hint that this isn't made for video games. On the top, we've got our volume control, power, and a cartridge slot, which is kind of on the back-ish. And then we've got our battery slot. Now we can have all of the not very fun. This cartridge translates to frequently used idioms for university entrance exams. I'm definitely doing this backwards. I know English and not really Japanese. And this is for people who know Japanese and are learning English. I don't know why there's percentages on the right. I'm just going to choose one. It made a noise. Do I want to choose the clock or the snail? Let's go for the snail. She something on studying without taking a rest. I get to choose what fits in the sentence. She float on studying. She ran on studying. She walked on studying. She went on studying. Hooray. I Englished. Yes, we are go-oning. Few people will take the trouble to what the question in any detail. Give up. Yes, definitely give up. Oh, can I escape? Oh, I am escaping. Oh, I can't escape any further. You can't escape your entire lesson. There's no escape. As far as I've managed to find, these don't have anything in common with any video game consoles, and nobody's even homebrewed any games onto them, which is kind of surprising given how many Japanese teenagers would have had their hands on these things. But things start to get a bit more interesting when Benesi releases the Pocket Challenge V2. Unlike the Pocket Challenge V1, the Pocket Challenge V2 ties in very easily with video gaming history. We've all heard of the Nintendo Game Boy, right? Well, the Game Boy was designed by Gunpei Yokoi, who also designed the Game & Watch and Nintendo's plus-shaped D-pad. But in the mid-90s, he left Nintendo and started his own company called Koto Laboratory, which in collaboration with Bandai, created the Bandai WonderSwan, a Game Boy competitor which actually did well in Japan and was completely unheard of anywhere else. I really like this thing. It's a genuinely good system. I just wish more English games were available for it. Now, I think you can probably see where I'm going with this. Benesi asked Koto Laboratory to build the Pocket Challenge V2, and it seems like they pretty much just rebundled the WonderSwan hardware into a different package. They're not exactly the same. The WonderSwan has a sound button. It has loud, medium, and off. The Pocket Challenge has a proper volume wheel here. The face button layout's all totally different. Interestingly, they do both have the same expansion port, and the cartridges look almost the same. The cartridges don't physically fit into each other's consoles, but we might get some results if we take the housings off. Have a look at this. I've never seen a video game cartridge with this. A replaceable battery for the save RAM. Back in the day, the chip that held your save file had to have a battery connected to it the whole time or it would lose your save. But normally they're soldered to the board. This is a really helpful feature actually. Inside the cartridges, aside from the battery and the save RAM, these two seem to have the same components, just moved around a bit. The chips are from different manufacturers, so obviously they used a different factory to make them, but aside from the physical height of the board, they look pretty same. First I want to try a WonderSwan game in the Pocket Challenge. With the top cover removed, it fits. It goes all the way in. Does it do anything? Nope. It appears it doesn't. Then what about... Oh, that actually doesn't fit in there still. Can't just put the circuit board in there because it relies on the thickness of the plastic to work properly. It's sketchy. It's hanging out the top. Yeah, that's flexing the board. Luckily, it's a terrible thing to play. But it's in. On. We're WonderSwanning. Hey, it works! Oh no. Oh, what is going on with the button mapping? I thought that maybe one of the D-pads would be the same and then the rest of the buttons would be spread around the place, but it's all over the place. A seems to be down, B seems to be up, left seems to be right. I've not found left. Buttons up here do stuff. This screen's actually not bad. There's a lot of text on the screen and all of it's legible, except for I can't read it. But what's stopping the WonderSwan game from working in the Pocket Challenge? Let's see what's inside, shall we? There we are, some things. And inside the WonderSwan, quite similar. The main chip that does everything in both these units looks identical, except for the WonderSwan one says Bandai on it. This is a custom system on chip, which is actually based on x86 architecture. They both have exactly the same power supply section. This board takes the 1.5 volts from the AA battery and steps it up to 2 volts and 3 volts. The LCD connectors on both of them look exactly the same. I'm pretty sure they use the same LCD, although possibly from a different manufacturer because they have different backings on them. Look at this, the WonderSwan has a piezoelectric speaker. These are really not that good. The Pocket Challenge has a little electrodynamic speaker. This is the same sort of technology you'd find in your car speakers. It's usually a lot better than a piezoelectric. And the Pocket Challenge has a headphone jack too. The WonderSwan doesn't have that. And I think my foam rectangles here have gone moldy. That is gross. But as far as reasons why the Pocket Challenge won't boot WonderSwan games, I think it's this guy here. As far as I can see, this chip is the only one that doesn't have an equivalent functional part on the Pocket Challenge. This is an EEPROM. It has a little bit of storage space on it. This is speculation on my part, but I think this is probably the boot ROM. It contains the data needed to get the console running and probably the Bandai boot screen too. The Pocket Challenge doesn't have one anywhere, which means the boot information is probably in the cartridge ROM, which is why the Pocket Challenge games work on the WonderSwan, because it runs this boot ROM, which hands over to the cartridge boot ROM, which hands over to the game. But the WonderSwan cartridges don't work in the Pocket Challenge because there's no boot information at all. It's not in the cartridge, it's not on the board. So the question is, can I transplant this boot ROM into the Benesi Pocket Challenge V2? And actually, just before I get to that, I wonder if the Pocket Challenge games work on the WonderSwan without the boot ROM. Huh, I really didn't expect to have that boot screen. But the game does still work. I'm hoping a real WonderSwan game doesn't work still, because if it does, I've probably done this for nothing. It still works. It just doesn't say WonderSwan at the bottom. This is a portrait mode game. How cool is it that some games play in this orientation? But in any case, that was a waste of time. There's no point connecting this chip into the Pocket Challenge because it seems like it only contains the word WonderSwan and that's it. Comparing the connections on the two chips, there are a lot of pins that are either connected to 5 volt or ground permanently on one system, but not on the other. Pins are often configured like that to set options permanently for each type of hardware, but there are just too many of them for me to blindly start pulling pins and seeing what they do. This chip seems like it's been fully reverse engineered, but I couldn't find a pinout for it anywhere, so I don't think I can make the Pocket Challenge play WonderSwan games. But I have one question that I want to answer, and that is whether the Pocket Challenge V2 can be used as a donor LCD screen for a WonderSwan. There's no way these things are going to be more expensive than a WonderSwan, because a WonderSwan is fun, and a Pocket Challenge V2, not so much. That's not looking very good. So what about the WonderSwan LCD on the Pocket Challenge? That doesn't work either. That's strange. I genuinely thought that this would work at least one way around. But there are a lot more traces going to this side of the LCD than there are going to this side of this one, and this actually makes sense. The WonderSwan LCD is about 44mm high, but the Pocket Challenge LCD is only 41mm high. There's a gap at the bottom of the WonderSwan screen with a whole bunch of icons built into the LCD which show what the system's doing. It's where your volume control comes up, where your low battery icon would be. It's even telling me which way up to hold the screen when I first turn it on. The Pocket Challenge doesn't have that strip, which means the LCD wiring is different, which means you can't exchange LCDs between these two systems, even though I swear I saw a video of somebody doing it. And that's it, the Benesi Pocket Challenge and Pocket Challenge V2. The V2 is just a WonderSwan minus all of the fun. I've been collecting video games for ages, I'm always getting new stuff. I post a photo of every single thing I get on Floatplane. For $2.50, you'll also get early ad-free access to all my videos and at least one exclusive video. Or if you just want to see the photos and to be part of my community, you can join for $1 a month. The link's in the description, I'll see you there.